Family, peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. How y'all doing? Peace and love, fam. How y'all doing? Yo, family, peace and love. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's going on? I'm waiting till a few of y'all get in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Yo, fam, peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. It's been a minute. Everybody. I'm waiting till a few of y'all get in here so we can talk. Peace and love, y'all. Been a long time no see. Long time no see, family. What's going on, fam? Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. How y'all doing? I don't know if I came on too late. Hope y'all woke. Hope y'all woke. What's good, family? Kevin, David, Yakel, what's up? What's up, fam? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? SS Wireless. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, fam? I'm gonna wait till like one more minute before I start talking. You know, just so this message can get out. Even if I gotta do it another time, but I'm gonna try to make sure I get it done tonight. Cause I wanna talk about something serious. One more minute, fam. One more minute. BZ, what's up? What's good? What's good, family? How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? This whole week, I'm gonna start talking about credit. This whole week, I'm gonna start talking about credit, fam. Anybody who interested in credit, just watch my future lives. And this video gonna be pretty much me wrapping up on a lot of things as far as status correction and everything, how that stuff goes. So I just want to keep it brief tonight, and we're gonna be talking about a few things. I'm gonna answer a few of you guys' questions, and I just want to make sure that this right here, everybody receive it. I want to make sure everybody got it. I also want to make sure that no one is confused or misinterpreting my certain talking points. Okay. Yes, yes, Joshua. About how to legally rob a bank. I know that's the one that y'all want. Okay, let's get started. Okay, fam. So for many years, right, I had made a video before, but a lot of people told me that it was terrible, the quality of the video, right? Just to sum this thing up, right? Because I got a lot of people that want to talk about other topics too, but we're gonna get into that. But tonight, I really want to talk about something, right? So one of the videos that I posted 2 days ago, yeah, it was about 2 days ago. It was talking about NICS code, right? National Instant Criminal Background Check, right? This is when the police go into the database, and outside of your passport, they usually just type in your first name, last name, oh, date of birth, phone number, and etc. Now, when they check your passport, right? Let's just say hypothetically, you are on the do not detain list, and they search up everything, right? Usually, what pops up is they block your transactional file, so the identification that you use didn't allow the police to access your personal records, right? Now the problem is most police, when they overstep, meaning they trying to make an arrest or they trying to detain you, what they usually do is they step into a separate database. It's called a National Instant Criminal Check, right? Now, a lot of people have been talking about this for years about overstepping. They was like, oh, if a police overstep. And I always drew the line. I was saying, like, how can the police overstep? So if the documentation says this, and we are nationals, and we are admitting that we are nationals, how can they overstep something that they don't have no jurisdiction over? Now, what happened is when the police officers check the separate database, it usually give them all of your personal information, right? Such as your social security number, such as your any old driver's licenses that's been associated with you, your previous address, your birth certificate records, right? Now a lot of people don't know that they birth certificate records, the police do have information on that, because remember, the moment you get a birth certificate, it's already been recorded in the county, right? So I've been doing this for a long time, right? So even when dealing with contracts with the state, now canceling contracts with the state, um, it was convenient, right? You know, a lot of us was getting away with traffic citations, or the police don't want to go through the hassle, so they just let you go because you never receive any contracts with the state. You also can avoid lawsuits because most of the time your driver's license is linked to you directly, and anytime an attorney want to file charges, or I mean not charges, but anybody want to sue you, they usually go after the driver's license. Anytime the police looking for you, it's easier to locate you with the driver's license, right? Now, most people would call that beneficial. But one of the main things is what draw the line is the passport doesn't 100% immune you from felony charges. Now, when I say felony charges, it can be felon in possession of a firearm. It can be stuff such as retail theft. I know retail theft is not covered under the Constitution. I'm just speaking in general. So since the do not detain list doesn't protect you from felony charges or misdemeanor charges, technically it only helps sometimes in traffic violations. That's when I drew the line and asked myself what is really going on. So once I furthered my research and I understood NICS, it's almost like this separate database also put everybody into a gridlock. The gridlock meaning, even though you did your due diligence with canceling contracts with the state, you did your due diligence with filling out your passport to be under the do not detain list. If the police ever decide to overstep, they will. They will try to, right? Now, some people ask me other questions like, oh, why not file a birth certificate, or why not file an affidavit with the court? None of that stuff worked, right? So I came to the conclusion, right? So many times I've been pushing the Constitution. We've been pushing the Second Amendment. We've been pushing the right to travel. We've been pushing every aspect that comes to law. And one thing that we keep coming to this era is anything that hasn't been ruled on by the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court are the ones that make the ruling when it comes to the law. I know that right now this modern day Supreme Court misinterpret the Constitution, misinterpret the Second Amendment, misinterpreted the right to travel, and also a lot of judges would try to go against the right to travel, even though some textbooks or certain laws that adhere to the teachings of the right to travel, it might not be in its purest context, but when you actually read it and digest it, it almost seems as though that the driver's license wasn't regulated until 1925. So over 200 years, America has been a civilization without a driver's license mandate until 1925, which would be 100 years ago when the driver's license first came into an effect, right? Now, so I came to the conclusion, right? Even when you will have a lot of foreign people get arrested, whether it be migrants, whether it be Mexicans, whether it be East Indians, whether it be Moroccan people, whether it be Moors, whether it be Native Americans, whether it be any of those groups, right? So I came to the conclusion that everything that we've been taught is a limitation of what is actually needed in order to regain true freedom. Now, the reason why I don't speak that much on it, because you got to understand, as much as I'm a teacher, I'm also a student as well. And I also understand that everything comes with trial and error. So don't think that because you did the do not detain list, meaning you done something wrong. No, no, no. There's a limitation there's a limitation of information that you received at a certain in a certain time frame. So now I get to the point of understanding immunity, right? And I understand that immunity is strictly government, because as much as we like to promote the Constitution, As much as we like to talk about the peace treaty and friendship with the Moroccan Empire, with the United States, being a citizen or being a national, which would be a foreign national, doesn't give you immunity. Immunity starts from the government because only governments can receive immunity because you got to understand the government is who creates the law. The United States Constitution, who they say we are protected by, gave us the limitation of those protections. So you have a limited protection of the Second Amendment. You have a limited protection of your First Amendment right. You have a limited protection of your Fourth Amendment right. You have a very limited protection of your Fourth Amendment right. And also you have a limited protection of all of your constitutional rights. And so I came to the conclusion, like I said a while ago, I'm not a United States citizen. I mean, not a United States citizen. I'm not a non-citizen national. Neither am I a United States citizen. Neither am I a foreign national, right? Because all forms of nationality and citizenships are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. And the reason why I say all foreign citizenships is subject to the United States because does not matter what country you came from, what creed that you claim, no foreign citizen get full immunity here in America. Only governments get full immunity here in America, and anyone can establish their own government. And I say that to say, if you're gonna do something, you need to do it right. You get what I'm saying? Now, everything that we've been doing is just a stepping stone, stepping block, right? You know, it's commendable because since many people have been practicing exercising their freedom, exercising their rights, and looking into this, it actually comes to one conclusive idea. You have to establish your own government. Now, when I say establish your own government, I'm talking about declaring your own nation. I'm talking about declaring your own constitution. I'm talking about really having full diplomatic immunity and diplomatic relations with the United States. I mean, international relations with the United States or even other countries abroad. Now, a lot of people is not going to take it to that extent. So I wouldn't even necessarily say this is a force upon you, right? Meaning I want you to do this. I encourage you to do this. I just want you guys to keep an open ear to what I'm saying. Many people have been saying they Moorish American, but even being a Moorish American, it doesn't exempt you from the jurisdiction specifically because just being a foreign national, being a foreign citizen doesn't guarantee immunity. And I think most people forget that because what the immunity factor is that they don't have jurisdiction of you. So when I was talking about the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Clause, that was talking about foreign nations, right? So the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act deals with governments and they deal with foreign states. So let's just say the state of Texas, right? The state of Texas will fall under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act because they will be acting as their own government. They'll be acting as their own independent nation. Every state is protected under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act. Every government that's outside of the United States of America is protected under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act. And if you don't believe me, you can search it up under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act guide. You can scroll down to chapter 28, and it deals specifically with jurisdiction, and it also deal with wavering of jurisdiction. So we not dealing with the crumbs no more. We actually dealing with nations. And so many people will say, what about exercising the Constitution? Well, you can stay within that vicinity, right? The Supreme Court itself tells you that you don't have absolute rights, and the Constitution is not an absolute uh, aspect of freedom. So the much as the fake freedom that they push to us, and they got the world got everything misconstrued to tell us that we have full immunity, full sovereignty. The United States Constitution, all of this stuff is backed by the Constitution, is 100% null and void. The Constitution has been misinterpreted, changed, rewritten, misunderstood, and you want us to follow that? Yeah, anybody can get out. Anybody can get out of status because if it's not making sense, if it's not conducive to your society, if it's not conducive to your way of life, anyone can renounce citizenship. Not even a renounce citizenship, establish foreign government and renounce citizenship with the United States of America, and it's 100% lawful. Now, most people's like, okay, what is the benefits? Now, the benefits is up to you. right? So when we dealing with nation building, we're not talking about an individualized assessment. We're not talking about you just starting a nation and you just going to the courthouse declaring an individual nation. I'm talking about really establishing your own nation, your own land, your own constitution, and you are a full free nation. Now, most people not thinking like that. Most people think like my mind only go here, right? But the totality of what I'm trying to explain, that it more needs to get done. Not just that limitation. Not just that limitation. We all subjects, even if we challenge. Because remember, jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. It is the grounds of the jurisdiction that put us in a gridlock, right? So I was looking through all of the elements and arguments that a defendant can propose in any criminal court when it comes to jurisdiction, right? You have subject matter jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction. What else you got? You got personal jurisdiction. What else? What else? What else? And you got procedural jurisdiction. Procedural jurisdiction. You have there's one more. There's one more. I found it, y'all. I found it. Dang, I gotta see. I forgot. But all of those elements you can challenge, but you also can challenge it under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act. Now the problem is with Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act, individuals can't claim to be their own nation. So when you go into the court and just say, hey, I'm a foreign government, that's not how it works. When you fully establish your own government, you're talking about everything is situated. You already have diplomatic relations with the United States. Whether you enter or exit the United States, you already have those diplomatic relations. That's what I mean by falling under the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act. Not a person going to the courthouse and filing a letter of affidavits. Now, remember, this video is a correction video, but it's not to take away anything that anyone actually done. So if you're a Moorish American and you've been studying and you've been practicing, you still good. Because remember, where you start at might not be where you finish. The little information that you receive about nationality, status correction, the Constitution was a vital step, because just with that little information, you woke up to other things throughout your journey. So you declaring yourself as a national is far better than being a citizen. And then it went from you being a national to you being a government. Because as much as the brothers who profess to be Moors, a lot of them don't operate under the nation. Most people use the United States Constitution as reference, and I wouldn't use it as a reference. Now, most people say, what about the peace treaty and friendship? The peace treaty and friendship, that's just an agreement that the United States has established with Morocco. But where is your actual constitution? You get what I'm saying? Where's your constitution? Where's the Moroccan constitution directly that's been ordained by you? And what position do you play within the Moroccan Empire? You get what I'm saying? You wanna take it to that extreme, and most people not doing that. And so some people asked me, it was a student. He was like, "Oh, can I get my CDLs?" And I said, it really wouldn't matter right now, because honestly, until everybody declared as a foreign nation, you still a citizen. In my opinion, and it's conclusive evidence to show it. It's a lot of evidence to show it. So whether or not you get a contract with the state, it wouldn't matter until you fully become sovereign and establish your own government. Because even if you get a license or you don't get a license, you still has the NICS on you. It's the same thing. So you still recognize as a citizen. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what a lot of people not understanding. They think that once you cancel those documents, the government don't have a separate database that they use in order to try to use that as jurisdiction. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong for a second. You still got the right to represent yourself. You still can stand on the principles of the Constitution. You still can exercise your constitutional rights, but you have a limitation. So you have limited powers and you got unlimited powers. So that's what I'm making a distinction on. Unlimited powers is meaning you are your own government, you have full immunity, and you also is responsible for yourself and your nation behind, and you also establish your own constitution. Limited will be you are a citizen of a specific country and you operate within the compounds of that country and within this originality. You get what I'm saying? So it's just two concepts. You can go here or you can go there. I'm not saying either one is wrong, but once you step into this idea of self government and what I need to do to bring about a brand new government, that's when you will say, okay, I want to take that step. But if you want to stay within the jurisdiction of the United States, that's okay too, because every information is different from certain people. I don't want everybody to just jump out in the ocean and they don't know nothing about it. I'd rather them take a lot, whether this take 10 years or 20 years. I don't expect you to move in the first 5 years. I don't expect you to do anything within the next 10 years. And remember, when I be seeing a lot of people that want to take these leaps, I want to make sure that you guys are independent as well. Are you financially free? If you're not financially free, when I say financially free, I'm not talking about a millionaire or a billionaire. Financially free, are you making independent? Are you making money independently from an institution such as a job, government assistance, welfare, Social Security, disability, pension, retirement, 401k? You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, are you financially free in that aspect? And if you are financially free, how much can you say you? How much can you say you can? How much can you say you can make a year potentially? It's doing what you're doing, but independently, where you going full fledged, because you got to create a budget. You have to have a team. You have to be well established. You have to be well connected. Most people not look at it like most people don't look at it like that. And when I seen a lot of brothers who were sovereign, and I see a lot of people trying to work and they were trying to be sovereign, and I told them, like, you better off just trying to make independent money. Nobody want to work within the compounds of the government. Nobody want to work through an employer. Nobody want to be taxed. They want to operate like the rich. They want to deal with everything like the rich. They want to be 100% independent. They want to have all of their finances to themselves. They want to establish everything the way it's supposed to be. But it's up to you if you want to take that leap. It's up to you, fam. What's up with your YouTube? Constantly commenting your WhatsApp. I don't know. Y'all on here? Is it messing up? Is it broke? No, we can hear you. Okay. I just want to know because nobody said nothing, so I was kind of confused about was y'all actually hearing me? Yeah. So make sure you financially free. Make sure you have all of your stuff together. Make sure you really established. And remember this: if you don't have your own independent government, whether you cancel contracts or not, you are still a subject until further notice, until you go all the way, because it's still going to be assumed jurisdiction because of the national instant background check. And also, people said this: can I delete it? Now, you can delete information from that, but it doesn't delete you entirely. Remember, your birth certificate, the day it's been recorded, it's been going into the national security files, right? So the feds see it, the police see it, the sheriff department see it. And this is what they using to assume jurisdiction. I remember when I first got arrested with the passport, right? And I got arrested. What happened was they checked my information outside of my passport, and they was using that to charge me. Now the passport was just used as identification on what identification that they had at that moment, but that didn't block the jurisdiction, because you got to understand, everything is assumed. And people challenge the assumption, right? And it's good to challenge the assumption. But what kills the assumption is that even though the challenge of the assumption, you might do it, but it might be rejected by the court. You got to understand, this is damn near like a, I want to say not a tribe, but how I want to say, what do you call those people? Um, this is like like organized criminals coming together. These are organized criminals coming together. These are groups that's attacking you, and every time you bring forth these arguments, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like they look all push off to it. It's certain thing that they can't avoid. Any argument dealing with the Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act, and you give them that guide, they gotta acknowledge it. Anytime you bring up a challenge to jurisdiction, they gotta acknowledge it. And then remember, I want a lot of people out there that is sovereign or say that they sovereign individuals to make sure that they can effectively represent themselves in any criminal case. Case in point, I just got a student. Now, he's not my student, right? Me and him do credit together, but he's not my student. So don't say I taught him sovereignty. I didn't teach him sovereignty. He didn't fall under me. So let's just make sure we get that clear. Now, I got a student who I do credit with, partner who I do credit with. His name Ricky Lott. Now, Ricky Lott, y'all probably seen him before. Me and him did, the credit videos. We was talking about, how to get this, or how to do that with the credit and stuff like that. So he went to prison, right? They gave him prison time, right? I'm finna tell y'all, right? I got a good story, I'm finna tell y'all about this. It's actually messed up because I talked to him about it. And I told him, like, bro, you want me to notify the people? He said, yes. So I got to notify y'all about everything, right? So what happened was, he had a, what's that thing called again? A revoked driver's license. So his driver's license has been revoked for a few years. So he was in Chicago or something, no, DuPage County in Illinois. I guess he was driving without a license, but he was drunk. Police stopped him, pulled him out the car and, handcuffed him, took him to the station. He caught about four different charges, four different times, driving while drunk. So I guess he ended up going to trial. He did the most craziest shit. I never heard this, right? So imagine, I'm going to tell you the person who taught him. General Hellraiser, right? This is teacher, right? Now, I'm not saying nothing bad about General Hellraiser, but if y'all do, send this video to General Hellraiser if y'all can. So I guess he's following General Hellraiser advice. He didn't follow my advice. It's not my student on that type of time. So he followed General Hellraiser advice. He went to trial. They were sending documents and he was trying to challenge jurisdiction. The court shut all that down, right? So he ended up going to trial. And someone told him to go to trial and don't rebuke the information, like to go against the information. So when he went to trial, he didn't say anything. So the opening statements, he didn't say nothing. Showing the evidence, he didn't say nothing. Cross-examining witnesses, he didn't say nothing. Closing arguments, he didn't say nothing. The jury found him guilty. He didn't do one rebuttal. He told me, hey, I'm not going to rebuttal. Basically, whoever told him something to say, they told him not to say anything in court. Like, basically, don't have any affairs with them. I don't know who the hell would tell him that. So he ended up going to trial. He didn't say nothing. They found him guilty on one case, right? They cracked him. They gave him 7 years. Then he went back to another county because he had the same thing, a DUI. Then he went to trial again. He didn't rebuke or nothing. He didn't refute the information or nothing. He stayed silent. They hit him again. They gave him 6 years after that. So 7 years they gave him, then 6 years they gave him. He got 2 more criminal trials up front. And I guess he's going to do the same thing. And I say that to say, I told him, I don't care what nationality that you claim you was. I don't care what status you say you was. If you in trial, you didn't refute any of the information. You didn't refute any of the evidence that the prosecutors was spewing out. You didn't say nothing. You just let them people have it their way. You literally gave them people a free conviction with no rebuttal. I couldn't believe it. And he was angry, you know, 'cause he was angry at it. And he said, "I'm gonna take it to the Supreme Court." And I said, "Are you crazy, bro? Why would you allow those people to 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 have it their way with no objections?" Thank you for saying that. Glimpse of freedom with no objections. You let them put forth any information and evidence that they choose to, and you didn't object to it. I said I could not believe it. I genuinely could not believe it. So now he's in prison. And I told him before it was a fly. Oh, but I told him in prison. I said, why would you do that? That was one of the most craziest thing I ever heard in my life. I have never in my life heard nobody do nothing like that. But this is what happened when you just listen to people and they just telling you things, but it is not carrying no weight. It don't have no weight. It don't have no true nothing. It's like you just literally gave them people a free conviction. And I was like, wow. And then he got 2 more cases. So 7 years for one, 6 years for the other one, and you got 2 more. I don't know if he's gonna do that no more. I think this time he's gonna try to object, object now, because he ready to come home right now. I'm like, home? A DUI that'll be considered public safety. So for those who say no injured party, in my position, public safety do play a role. Now it can be argued. I would say that, but public safety is everything. DUI can be a hazardous situation. Intoxication and driving is dangerous. Now, if you was walking intoxicated, it might be one thing, but driving a vehicle being intoxicated, in my opinion, it's a little different. I look at it a little different. I don't believe you should get 7 years for it, but I do believe that you should be neutralized, like put in the cell like they used to. Back then, if you used to drink, they used to take you to a cell, and once you get sober, they'll release you. But yeah, he did that with no objections. He didn't object one time, and they gave him 7 years. And now he got 2 more cases that he fighting. So that's where he at. Because a lot of people have been asking me about him. They like, where's Rick? Where's Rick? He in prison right now. If y'all want to write him, y'all can. If y'all want anything done with credit, y'all can write him. If y'all want his contact information, let me know. I could put his information out there, and y'all can write him or whatever. You know, send him y'all phone number. Send him y'all phone number if y'all want to. But no, that was crazy. Cross claims can be beneficial if they violate his rights in the due process of charging him. Cross claims can stay the prosecution until the deal with the claim. Well, yeah, but he didn't object to any of that. So everything that you saying that he should do, he didn't do any of that. So when he went to court, they were just challenging. They didn't even challenge it right. He did it where he did what's the thing called again? I think Yusavale came. The first person I seen do it was Yusavale's called offer of settlement. He did an offer of settlement in a way of challenging jurisdiction, and the judge denied it because what people got confused was right. I think a lot of people don't understand this. Even though you sovereign and you represent yourself, you have to understand procedure. And when I first represent myself in my old case, I didn't understand procedure. I just understand the argument aspect. When you understand procedure is how you present emotion, how you properly write out emotion, and how you properly address the court, and how you properly represent that motion in court, and also how you properly motion a court date specifically to address that motion. Most people don't know how to do that. Most people just file motions, but it don't be motion. I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all did. When y'all thought y'all was filing motions, y'all was filing comments. Comments are not motions. And the reason why I say comments is not motions is because when people who represent themselves, who hasn't really been approved from the court to represent themselves, they file and go down as a comment. So the judge can view it, but it's not looked at as a motion. So the court don't even move off of it. I learned that in Florida. And once I'm in Illinois, it's super easy. Now, filing motions and withdrawing motions and preparing yourself in court, preparing for a trial, all that stuff is easy, y'all. All of that stuff is easy. And also remind you, right? The easiest trial in the world for me is jury trials. It is so easy to win a jury trial. The only thing that I would say is you have to be very articulate when you operate in a jury trial, depending on which route you want to go. Sometimes you can win a jury trial off jury nullification. I'm gonna tell y'all what this is, right? So jury nullification is constitutionally, remember, because I don't want to trolls, oh, he's a sovereign citizen. No, no. You have jury instructions that tell the jury or prompt the jury to find you guilty if they can prove the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And you also have in a jury instruction to tell you to acquit the defendant if he's not guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Now listen to what I'm saying. In jury trials, you have something called jury nullification, meaning that the jury can acquit a defendant solely off of their own discretion, and it doesn't have to apply to the law. And so when people ask me, how did I beat my Florida case? Jury nullification plays a role in that, because during the trial, I was able to show them that the Second Amendment didn't include a license, meaning that a person didn't have to acquire a license, meaning that a person didn't have to show a license, meaning that a person didn't have to obtain a background check. And jury nullification is how many people get acquitted in a jury trial. Now, in my argument, the reason why I think a lot of people who claim to be sovereigns lose jury trials is due to their arrogance, their ego, and their level of disrespect and non-consideration. I find it when a lot of people get pulled over, tased, pulled out the car because they didn't have enough decency to conduct themselves. I had one student, she got into it with the officer. Me and her talked about it, and she was acting erratic, right? And she was like, should I go to trial? And I told her no. And the reason why I told her no was because she told me I didn't know I was supposed to act a certain type of way. You have to know how to conduct yourself, whether you drive with a license or drive without a license. Conducting yourself is the first thing that every juror pay attention to. And I'm speaking just in common decency, right? I'm not speaking as just something else. I'm on the topic of jury trials. And so when a person conducts themselves correctly, you allow the officer to mess up. In my case, there's about 5 to 6 errors that the police made a mistake in, right? But they made the mistake, and I was able to catch the mistake, but also I was able to conduct myself throughout the mistake. It does not matter about what the circumstances is. It's about catching their mistakes, but also being honorable at all times. You don't have to scream at the police. You don't have to call the police out their name. You don't have to put your hands on the police. You don't have to resist the arrest. You don't have to challenge them in a way to threaten them or tell them that they stupid or scream or kick the door. You don't have to do none of that. Every time I got stopped, I said, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. No, sir. And what happened is most of the time the police like to get you on edge. Sometimes they want to find a reason to hurt you. Sometimes they want to find a reason to put their hands on you, right? But when you conduct yourself right, that's why nothing ever happened to me. I've been pulled over 8 times without license, right? Plenty of times. Nothing happened in the sense of them grabbing me. I never been thrown out of a car. I never been smashed, slung on the ground. Never happened one time in my life, because you got to understand how to conduct yourself. When you act crazy, you get treated like you crazy. And the last thing that I want these trolls to see is me getting pulled out the car, snatched on the ground, and then they're gonna make 1,000 videos laughing. And I need to edify people on how to conduct themselves, because remember, when you conduct yourself correctly, it's not about you just getting away. It's about being safe. Remember, it's about being safe first. So you don't want to be a dummy on the side of the road screaming with the officer, moving your handcuffs and all of that. You don't have to do all that. Sometimes you can be patient. Sometimes I'm just patient and the police just leave. Because it's simple stuff like that that people got to understand. That's one thing that the jury look at, right? Another thing, um, another thing that how a lot of us lose cases, some people, is the argument sometimes is off topic in trial. Meaning, if we argue this subject thing, right, a lot of people will go fully off topic and talk about something totally different, and they will talk with a certain ego about them, and the jury can sense that the ego and the arrogance and the disrespect, the disrespect you have for the judge. A lot of people will go to court. They wouldn't even tell the judge, Your Honor. They'll say, Oh, my honor, or you listen to me. You don't have to conduct yourself like that. And that's why a lot of people don't even get a chance to represent themselves, because they're not even professional. You want me to tell you something crazy? The prosecutor, in my case, when the judge started respecting me, they actually pulled back. The prosecutor told me directly, face to face, outside of the court, off the record. He said, I'm not after you. I really don't have nothing against you. I really just want this over with. You get what I'm saying? It's little stuff like that. Because it's my track record already show I beat these type of cases, so that's not nothing new to them. But also, the way I conduct myself is the reasoning of him knowing that I can lose this case, which they would. But he actually know like I could potentially lose this case because how I conduct myself. And when the judge respects you, and I'm not saying respect in the sense like you winning or losing, I'm saying respect meaning you carry yourself with a level of decency and intelligence. And now you go to the part where you're able to show evidence correctly. You're able to present your arguments correctly, and also you're able to cross-examine the witnesses better. I cross-examined the officer in my case. 60 questions I asked him throughout the cross-examination. And 3 of them answers in the cross-examination, he choked up. Choked up meaning went back on his word. Two conflicting statements. That's all I needed. That's how you get reasonable doubt. Now, a person who's too emotional will be just screaming and saying anything, and will be trying to make off argument topics. And you can make topics, you can make the arguments at hand, or you can set up a motion for those specific arguments, because everything is dealing with procedure. You get what I'm saying? It just, I don't know. I see how a lot of people lose, but I see how some people win. Because remember, only a small percentages of people actually win a case when they go pro se, because most people who go pro se don't know what the hell they're doing. And it is not even about knowledge. It's really not about knowledge. It's about understanding. Just having a decent understanding of it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world to represent you. You really can be an idiot. You really can be an idiot. You can really not know much. You can really know common decency, respect, and just a few things about cross-examination, how to present evidence, how to open statements and closing arguments, and you done. You don't got to know how to subpoena anybody. You don't have to know how to do too many motions to suppress, which is fundamental. That is fundamental. It's not an overnight thing to become a pro at it, but you can learn the fundamentals just simple, especially if you take your time and learn it. Can you post different videos of the people winning in their cases? Only people I can show you is me directly, and I can show you my cases directly. You can search it up. You can get my transcripts. You can go to Florida. I think it's called Florida case law or something like that, right? Type in Taquan Williams versus the state of Florida, and you're gonna see that, and you're gonna see the transcripts from my case. You can go to Orange County Clerk of Court. You can type in my name, Taquan Williams, Taquane, last name Williams, Williams. Go to Orange County Clerk of Court, and you can search. You can search up my name. You're gonna see from the beginning of the case to the end of the case. It's gonna give you all the motions that was filed. It's gonna give you all the transcripts. It's gonna give you everything. You can find it. And if you want to search up, if anybody want motions, I got motions, y'all. I got heck of motions I can show y'all. I can show y'all how to file a motion. It's so easy. It's really easy to file a motion to really file a motion and state all of your facts and appeals. You can do appeals and motions. You don't have to just do motions in court. You can do appeals. Appeals work just as much. And you can file motions to stay. Motions to stay is you pretty much asking the court to pause the proceeding until you handle appeals. You subpoena your witnesses. You make sure all of your witnesses are on point. Even if you want to do jurisdictional challenges, you can file a motion to stay. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You can do all of that. You can do all of that. You can do all of that when you represent yourself in a criminal case. And remember, this free game right here, anybody can do it. I just don't see that many people being effective with it because they go to court and argue all off-topic stuff. I don't know why. All off-topic stuff. If you don't want to argue in these courts for real, you might as well do the self-government. You might as well be your own government. And that's going to take some time to do. That's going to take time. That's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. Sir Juris, represent yourself, same thing. Because you got to understand, when I speak, you talking from the context of what the courtroom see it as. Even if you say just Sir Juris, that don't take away the element. The elements is still the same. Terminology, talking points is good, but it only goes so far because at the end of the day, we just speak in the layman terms to the people. So represent yourself will be another word of saying Sir Juris. Or if you say non-citizen national versus national, you get what I'm saying? Like, you could do a play on words, but I'm just speaking from the common man. But if you have no guilt, there's no reason for you to show up. Can you please not guilty? The only thing about not showing up to court is the assumption of guilt. Because if you claim that you're not guilty, you're going to go face the charges. Now, if you choose not to go to trial, you can certainly challenge the court in its jurisdiction. And yes, you can. Anybody can. I would ask anybody to challenge jurisdiction of the court. If I really could, I'd just tell everybody, just make sure you challenge it. If you challenge a subject matter jurisdiction, do it. If you want to challenge it this way, do it. Anybody can. Wait, quote one, so. BMST Group Inc. What they say? I ain't never seen the message. What did they was talking? They was saying crazy stuff. Did they say something crazy? Yeah, family. So from now on, look, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight, fam. Let's get to these business talks, right? Let me go live. All right, fam. Peace and love, y'all. I might start up the live again, talk about business. So let me click off, and I'm gonna click back on. Give me 2 minutes. All right, fam. Peace and love, everybody. Give me 1 minute. I'm finna do another. I'm about to do another live. We're finna talk about some business right now. All right, I'm out. Peace and love, y'all. I'm glad y'all got this information. I'm gone. God is Khalif. Blessings, peace to you.